It's obvious now, after there has been so much discussion surrounding what is going to happen after this season with Aaron Boone, the New York Yankees just had that proven on what everybody needs to see going forwards, because with Aaron Boone, there has been a ton of discussion surrounding what the right move is in certain situations and what's not, and why Boone typically has an affinity to make the wrong decision. That's something that's happened time and time again. Whether it was going out there and pitching Nestor Cortez in Game 1 of the World Series last year in 2024 over Tim Hill, who was on an absolute hot streak, and Nestor, who was still injured, it made no sense. Aaron Boone has time and time again made moves that just make absolutely no sense for the New York Yankees whatsoever, and fans wonder, why does he have such a long leash? The thing that is most common in my comments, or when fans stop me, or even if it's people who I know personally who just know I cover the Yankees, the number one thing I always get asked is Aaron Boone going to get fired after this season? That's been a question that I've been asked basically since I've started this channel years ago, when I first started doing this in 2024. So obviously it's not years ago, it's a year ago, but point still stands. That has been the number one thing asked. However, now it's obvious. It's obvious what the Yankees need to do. It's obvious what has to happen. Everybody can see it. Whether you're a fan, whether you're an analyst, whether you're an MLB insider, whether you're an MLB player, whether you're Alex Cora on the other side of the dugout, watching as the New York Yankees perform one of the biggest moments of just selling your superstar pitcher in a way that I have never seen before. Look, before we jump into it, guys, I want to remind you to subscribe to Yankees Digest. Usually these videos are a little bit more structured. Usually there's a lot more of like graphics and stuff going on, but we do have a lot of screenshots and a lot of stuff to go over with the Yankees right now. But basically, when it comes down to it, the New York Yankees have now found themselves in a situation where it's evidently clear what has to happen. Aaron Boone has to be fired. He doesn't have to be fired after the offseason or at some point when kind of evaluating options. No, Aaron Boone should not ever manage a game for the New York Yankees again. It's pretty damn simple. Look, at the end of the day, the New York Yankees have a glaring hole in this team. The bullpen. Are we going to sit here and pretend like they don't? No. Of course we're not, because we know the Yankees bullpen is bad. We know David Bednar is good. We know the rest of the Yankees bullpen has just been completely and utterly embarrassing for the second half of this season. Is it hard to win in the playoffs with a bad bullpen? Yeah, in fact, it's really, really hard, and usually teams with a bad bullpen don't go very far in the playoffs because you can only use your starters so much because you're usually only pitching 3 starters anyway. The New York Yankees, they usually do that. They pitch 3 starters, and one of them happens to be Max Fried, one of the best pitchers on the planet, one of the best pitchers in the American League, and just won AL Pitcher of the Month. Now, with that in mind, Max Fried had scoreless innings through 6.1 scoreless innings in the game against the Boston Red Sox that just finished up. However, Aaron Boone decided, no, he's at 100 pitches, I'm going to pull him. I'm all for not overworking your pitchers, especially when knowing they're going to have to pitch again in the near future and that they're going to be on shorter rest because of the playoffs. However, there were so many mistakes that went into this move, considering the fact that Boone should have just let the inning play out. But however, Boone didn't do that. In fact, Boone really just went out there, pulled Max Fried, and watched as Luke Weaver completely and utterly sold the game. Now, I want to make it very clear, I don't blame Luke Weaver whatsoever. What's he going to do? Say, I'm not going to come in. I've struggled recently. No, of course he's not. He's a competitor. He's going to go out there. You shouldn't blame Luke Weaver for any of this, despite the fact that he shouldn't have been walking guys, and that, as mentioned by Ryan Garcia on Twitter, I don't have the screen grab up of it, but as Ryan Garcia mentioned on Twitter, you got to throw more challenge pitches, because if you're going to allow a home run to tie the game, you are. Allowing the base runner right there was just a terrible move. But with the Yankees right now, we saw them lose Game 1 of a 3-game wildcard series to the Boston Red Sox. They're officially on the ropes, and another loss does mean that their season is over. A lot shorter than it looked like it was going to be a couple months ago, when the Yankees were the clear-cut favorites to make the World Series once again out of the American League. Now, Gerrit Cole is elite. He's better than Max Fried. He's probably the best pitcher in the American League. It's either him or Skubal. Now, Crochet only allowed 4 hits and 1 earned run, a home run by Anthony Volpe, and had 11 strikeouts. The man dealt had 16 straight retired players. Look, Crochet was great. I'm not trying to pretend like Gerrit Cole is not a phenomenal superstar of the game. However, to put Luke Weaver out there and for him to do nothing except allow 2 hits, walk a guy, and then allow 2 earned runs was absolutely disgusting. What the Red Sox do, they used 1 arm out of the bullpen. Who is that? Aroldis Chapman. Once they decided that was enough for Gerrit Cole, they kept the lefty thing going on because it was working against the Yankees, despite the fact that this moron decided that here's what's going to happen. We're going to go out there and we're going to try to counter the lefties by playing Ahmed Rosario. Well, that's good. Let's play Ahmed Amed Rosario over Jazz Chisholm. Oh, wait. Amed Rosario didn't have a hit. Yeah. Oh, good, because Amed Rosario before this game was 6 for 9 on Gerrit Cole. You got to play him. You know what? You actually friggin' don't, because Gerrit Cole, as great as he's been on the White Sox in the past, this is his best year. And let's maybe not bench the friggin' all-star in Jazz Chisholm, but he's a lefty. What are we going to do? Play him. That's what you're going to play him. You're going to play him because he's Jazz Chisholm. And you're going to say, you know what? Well, it's an idiotic move to play Amed Rosario over all-star Jazz Chisholm. Is there rhyme or reason to that? No. Is there rhyme or reason to it when Aaron Boone is looking at some weird sheet of paper? Apparently so. But also, as I've said time and time again, Aaron Boone has this special skill. He is the 30th best manager in the MLB. There's no doubt about it. The interesting thing is, with the Giants firing their manager, there's not even 30 managers in the MLB right now because there's vacancies, and somehow whoever hasn't been hired by the teams with vacancies still have better managers than Aaron Boone. The man just decides at the worst possible times to hit himself over the head with a mallet and then go out there and make a decision. What does he think? Is there thoughts? It's like that Breaking Bad scene that, like, Walter White says to Jesse, no, because you can't think. You don't have the ability to think. That's what I feel like when I'm watching Aaron Boone, and I am a known idiot when I step on these Yankees channels. I'm not pretending like I'm some genius, but I'm not Aaron Boone. Look, Luke Weaver had a 7.11 ERA with a 1.66 whip in his last 15 games. What does Boone do? Throws him in the game. Why? Who knows? I know the rest of the Yankees bullpen hasn't been very good, but why didn't you stick Fernando Cruz in there? Cruz looked better. He obviously looked better because Cruz has been better over his last couple of games. I know he was injured. I know he missed a lot of time. I don't care. He's healthy, and he was doing better than Weaver, who was sucking. Again, I don't blame Luke Weaver. I kind of do for not playing well, but it's not his. What's he going to say? No, leave Max in there. No, he's Luke Weaver. He's a star. He was closing for the Yankees last year. He's like, I got this. It's playoff me. I know what I'm doing. That's obviously fair to Luke Weaver. And then what does the Red Sox bullpen do? They throw out Chapman, who gets a 4-pitch strikeout, a 4-pitch flyout, and a 5-pitch strikeout. The Yankees toss out Chapman like he was yesterday's news, and the man has not lost a step. Because that's what the Yankees do. They throw players out once they hit the age of 35. It's just what happens. It's just what they've always done. It's just what Cashman likes to do. From age 25 to 35, you're, with the exception of Anthony Volpe, who got in here younger, you're just the golden boy of the New York Yankees. It's just the way that it works there. But now, as mentioned by John Friscella, Max Fried had around 100 pitches and a shutout. Aaron Boone took him out. Gerrit Cole with 100 pitches. Alex Cora doesn't even warm anybody up. Perfectly put, that's a loser manager versus a real manager. Alex Cora is an excellent manager. Aaron Boone is not. When you look at fans and their response, we just look up Aaron Boone's name on Twitter. We're going to run through these. As Frank Fleming of Barstool said, why didn't Alex Cora take out Crochet? I thought it was illegal to let a dominant pitcher stay in the game. At least that's what Aaron Boone thinks. As Nicky Snacks says, pay a guy ace money. Game 1 of a best of 3 against your arch rival. Pitch count under 100. Get it quick out in the 7th. The next move, bring in Luke Weaver, who's been far from a world beater. Aaron Boone and these nerds need to be dismantled or have dismantled the Yankees. What a joke. Tyler Hunt says Aaron Boone's more in a one-run game or move in a one-run game was bringing a reliever with a reliever with a 9.64 ERA in September. On top of that, Gary Sheffield mentioned props to Aaron Boone for not overworking Max Fried to prepare him for his big start in March. And Sheffield is right, because there's no use in trying to save these guys for later when you're already starting a series where both teams are on the ropes by default. Again, why would you put this guy in right here? I don't blame Weaver. I blame Aaron Boone's idiocy. And as Katie Sharp mentioned, the Yankees are 1-9 in their last 10 postseason games versus the Red Sox, and 6 of those 9 losses are by 2 runs or fewer. Because why? Because of mismanagement. There's no way around it. There's never gonna be a way around it. There's only one thing left to say. I have nothing against Aaron Boone as a person. In fact, he seems like a great guy who you'd really like to see in a bar and have a beer with. I truly mean that. He seems like an interesting guy with a lot of great stories from his life, who seems like a very nice, genuine, good dude who's loved by his players, and for good reason. He defends those guys to the ends of the earth. It's the best thing about him. He is willing to get tossed out of games. It's really cool that he does that, but the thing is, he's not a good manager. He's a good friend. And the Yankees, they don't need a friend. They need someone to kick them in the ass and say, go out there, win the baseball game. Max Fried, you got 100 pitches. You tired? Get back out there. We got a game to win. This is playoff baseball. Of course you're tired. You think everyone else isn't tired? We're all running on fumes, but it's playoff baseball. How bad do you want it? Show us how bad you want it. Don't try to live to see another day in a tied playoff series where you can't lose 2 games. You go out there and you give everything you have. Max Fried had more to give, but they pulled him and instantly, literally instantly regretted it, and it is massive malpractice by Aaron Boone. Once again, his managing has screwed the Yankees in the playoffs. He has sold the New York Yankees, and now they need to go out there. There is no choice. There is no more margin for error. It is gone. It is over. Goodbye. Good night. What they have to do now is win. Carlos Rodon, who is a 5-point-some-odd ERA in the playoffs, he has to go out there and not just be good, he has to be amazing. Because Brian Bayo is one great pitcher. On top of that, Aaron Judge, great game. He's got to do it again. Giancarlo Stanton, playoff G didn't arrive tonight. We need him tomorrow. We need Bellinger there to continue playing good baseball. Excellent field work by him. We need the rest of the Yankees team to hit the ball. If only they played their best players all game. But they left 37 home runs. 47 home runs, 47 home runs on their bench tonight because Ben Rice never got in the game. Jazz Chisholm didn't get in the game until one at bat when he faced off against Aroldis Chapman. Ahmed Rosario, who played in place of Jazz Chisholm, 0 for 3. I understand that Paul Goldschmidt had a very good game, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But Ben Rice should have been behind the plate. When Aaron Boone said it wasn't even close on the decision-making, the decision-making shouldn't be close when deciding if Aaron Boone should manage the team next year. And I hate advocating for people to get fired. I hate saying this stuff. I hate doing it on every YouTube channel because why should I, some guy in some Doobie Brothers t-shirt that's slightly going through the green screen right here, really get to tell someone how to live their life or who deserves to get fired or not? It's not fair to them, but also what Aaron Boone is doing to Yankees fans and his own players is also not fair. So we do sometimes just have to say how we feel. Again, this is a Yankees fan page. I am going to break down all news that always happens with this team, but I love this team. I love watching the New York Yankees. I have never seen a team, the Knicks, the Jets, the Yankees, win a championship in my adult or even near adult life. The only championship I've ever seen that I've ever even cared about was when the Yankees won in 2009. I was 8 years old. I don't even think I was watching the game. I was probably asleep because I was 8. It's really, really frustrating right now because all I want to see is one of my teams win a championship. I don't care if it's the Yankees, the Knicks, or the Jets. If you follow all my channels, you know that I do have a preference. One I'm not going to share on here because you can do the math. If you just look at the other channels, you know how I feel. But truly any of the three. The Jets are never going to win a football game. The Yankees should be the team to do it, and the Knicks somehow feel like the best hope, which shouldn't be the case because they're the freaking Knicks. It should be the Yankees. They should have won over the last 15 years by now, and they haven't. And all Yankee fans my age start to look at things and wonder, why the hell do these old folks love the Yankees so much? Why are they so used to winning? We don't know what winning is because for the last, if you're 24 years old like me, you haven't seen them win since you were 15. Or, no, you haven't seen them win since you were 8. Or 9. Really 8. Depends on when your birthday is. But, like, really, it's frustrating. I really don't think Aaron Boone should ever manage a game again. I don't think he should. Bring back Joe Girardi. Hell, put me in. I swear I could not put Luke Weaver into the game when Max Fried is dealing. I could do that. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm really losing my voice, so I don't want to talk any much more, and I'm also just angry, and this ring light is boiling my brain. So, guys, like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Obviously, we'll be back to more standard Yankees news tomorrow with also reactions like this. If you guys like these reactionary videos, let me know in the comments down below. I do really have fun making them. It's a fun place to vent instead of just screaming at my wall or something like that, because my family doesn't want to hear me talk about this, because I don't want to scream at them about the Yankees. And my friends, I mean, my 2 closest friends aren't even Yankee fans, so they're Mets fans, so they're gonna be like, you guys lost, we didn't even make the playoffs, we stole Juan Soto from you, isn't that funny? Sure, have a day, Mets fans who are rooting for the Red Sox. You guys are just not New York sports fans, but that's okay, because the Mets aren't really a New York team after all. They're Queens. They're in Queens. Guys, what do you think about all of it? I don't know why I just hated on Queens. I have nothing against Queens, if I'm being honest. I actually love Citi Field, and I like the Mets. I root for the Mets. I do. I really do, and I did do some Mets Digest videos back in the day. I don't know why I'm still here. I think I'm just rambling because I'm just angry, and it's like a nice detox. But if you're still here, you have no reason to be. Subscribe, turn on post notifications. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Go Yankees.